Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Oklahoma News Report. I'm Jason Doyle. Rich Lenz will return next week. This week started with the shocking revelation that a Supreme Court draft decision appears to overturn Roe v. Wade. At the same time, the Oklahoma legislature and Governor Kevin Stitt continue to pass laws further restricting abortion in our state.
We want Oklahoma to be the most pro-life state in the country.
Nearly a month ago, when Governor Kevin Stitt made that statement as he signed Senate Bill 612, making it a felony to perform an abortion in Oklahoma, no one knew that the U.S. Supreme Court was on the verge of overturning Roe v. Wade. An unprecedented leak of Justice Samuel Alito's draft decision on a Mississippi abortion case changed all that on Tuesday.
In terms of a draft opinion, it's unprecedented. Not in modern history and not in the Supreme Court's long 200-year history from what I know.
Professor Joseph Tye knows a thing or two about the Supreme Court. He was a law clerk to the late Justice John Paul Stevens and the late Justice Byron White, who was actually on the bench at the time Roe v. Wade was decided in 1973. Now that the secrecy of the Supreme Court justices' deliberations has been disrupted, trust among justices and their law clerks is suspect.
No one is above suspicion now because there are motives, good and bad, for both sides of Roe v. Wade to leak internally.
Tye adds the timing of the leak is interesting.
Because the case was argued in early December, Alito's draft was circulated internally in February. 2 months later, we have the leak, not in February, and not, the opinion, the decision will be handed down by the end of June. So we're sort of in between the first draft and the final decision. Why now?
Now that Justice Alito's draft decision has been made public, states are starting to align themselves with either pro-life or pro-choice initiatives, including the state of Oklahoma.
The prospect is thrilling.
Representative Jim Olson is a staunch proponent for pro-life measures. He's the House author of the recently signed Senate Bill 612. He also wrote House Bill 1102, which revokes a physician's license for performing a non-life-saving abortion. Governor Stitt signed that into law late last month. Despite the recent momentum gained for pro-life causes in Oklahoma and around the nation, Olson is cautiously optimistic about what the draft decision could mean.
Things could possibly change, but it does look like there's a good chance of that happening. This will be great news to save thousands and eventually millions of lives.
Oklahoma House Speaker Charles McCall also is optimistic, issuing a statement after the leaked document became public, saying, when the Supreme Court's reported vote is finalized, Oklahoma's trigger law and other proactive pro-life policies we have enacted will immediately end abortion here and set the stage for Oklahoma to become the most pro-life state in the nation. Not everyone is happy about the leak.
Of course, we're devastated by the potential impact of this being a published decision.
Well, disappointed and devastated, ACLU Oklahoma Executive Director Tamaya Cox-Torre says it isn't a surprise.
We've been anticipating this day for, a while, and to see it on paper is unfortunate.
Also on Tuesday, Governor Stitt signed another piece of legislation to limit abortions in Oklahoma. Senate Bill 1503 is called the Oklahoma Heartbeat Act.
Civil liability according to the pattern of the Texas law. So we would hit it from the standpoint of civil liability, not criminal, from that bill.
Olson feels the Supreme Court's possible overturning of Roe v. Wade would properly put abortion regulation back into the hands of the states. With the Supreme Court leak and the Oklahoma legislature passing several pro-life bills, pro-choice advocates are trying to figure out the way forward for their cause.
I think all of us are really trying to scramble to figure that out. It's important to know that just last week, the Center for Reproductive Rights, as well as Planned Parenthood, filed a lawsuit against two anti-abortion bills that were signed into law or making its way into law just last Thursday. So we're trying to figure out what the impact and the effects of those lawsuits are.
Those challenges will be heard in Oklahoma courts.
And while it may be a long shot, we believe that the state court that the state court could find that there's more protections under our state laws and constitution.
As for the impact, if Roe v. Wade is overturned later this year, Professor Tai says it could reach into other aspects of our lives.
It's no exaggeration to say that this could be a seismic shift in modern constitutional law. Most recently, extending the right of marriage to same-sex couples, the right to contraception recognized in 1965, even interracial marriage, which was recognized as protected by the Constitution in 1967.
The leaked Supreme Court draft decision is not the final word on the possible overturning of Roe v. Wade, because until the decision is published, justices could change their minds or just limit the decision's scope.